Hello everyone, I am Gyan and you are learning computer science with Python for class 11th. In this video we are going to learn about tuples in Python. Tuples in Python. Now question is, what is a tuple in Python? The Python tuples are sequences just like lists. Difference is that unlike lists, tuples are mutable. Unlike lists, tuples are mutable. That is, you cannot change a particular element of a tuple. Changing a particular element was allowed in list, but the same is not allowed in tuple. You cannot change a particular element of a tuple. While learning about tuples, first topic we are going to discuss is about creating and accessing tuples. First point we are going to learn is creating tuples. Creating tuples. Creating tuples is same as creating lists. The first way to create a tuple is called tuple display construct. Tuple display construct. Here in this case, you write various elements of tuple by yourself. The rules of creating tuples by using tuple display construct is same as creating lists. The only difference is that you need to include various values in between parentheses. That means in between opening and closing small brackets rather than square brackets. So this is a tuple. Okay, this is a tuple. This one is also a tuple. Similar to the list, a tuple can have heterogeneous values, like one element can be a whole number, the other element can be a fractional number, the third element can be a string, the fourth element can be a list, and fifth element can be a tuple. This is a perfect tuple. Okay, similar to the list. Only difference is that you cannot change a particular element of the tuple. You can change a particular element of a list, but you cannot change a particular element of a tuple. If you just write opening and closing parentheses and nothing in between them, this is called an empty tuple. An empty tuple. So, talking formally, this is the formal definition of creating a tuple by using tuple display construct. Variable t is equal to opening and closing parentheses. In between opening and closing parentheses, you need to write 0 or more values separated by comma. This is the formal way to create a tuple by using tuple display construct. Let's try creating tuple practically. Write 2, 3, 4. This is a tuple. Write t is equal to variable t is equal to 2, 3, 4. This is also a tuple. Write variable t is equal to just opening and closing small brackets. This is also a tuple. T is equal to abc comma df in a string. This is also a tuple. If you try to find the type of t, you will find that t is a tuple. But creating a one element tuple with tuple display construct can be little bit tricky. How we can create a one element tuple by using tuple display construct? Let's see it. If you write t is equal to in opening and closing small bracket, that means in between parentheses, you write just one value. This is not actually a tuple. Okay, confused? Let's see an example. Let's see it practically. If I write here t is equal to in between parentheses, I write just one value 1, type T, it prints 1. Check the type of T. Type of T is integer. It's not tuple, it's an integer. Because you know that the small bracket, the parenthesis, is used in arithmetic calculations. So here Python thinks that 1 has been included in between parentheses as per arithmetic calculations rather than a tuple. So if there is just one value in a tuple, writing like this will make Python interpreter to treat it like arithmetic 1 rather than a tuple with just one element 1. Now the question is how to create a tuple with just one element, how to do it. There are various ways of creating a tuple with just one element. One way is write T is equal to the value, suppose that the value is 3 followed by comma and press enter. If you do like this, then T is now a tuple. Okay, a one element tuple always ends with a comma. Otherwise, if there is no comma inside a one element tuple, then the tuple will not be considered as tuple. That will be considered as single arithmetic value. So now if you write T is equal to 3 followed by comma, it becomes a tuple of one element. If I write T is equal to 3 comma 3 comma in between opening and closing a small bracket, that means in between parentheses, this is also a tuple. Okay, so this is the way to create a one element tuple. You cannot create a one element tuple by just writing one element in between parentheses. That will be treated as arithmetic value. Suppose that you want to create a tuple by using tuple display construct and number of elements in that tuple are huge. What I mean here is that suppose that you are writing a tuple which are having huge number of elements which cannot be accommodated in a single line. Okay, suppose that you are creating something like this. So in order to do it, what you can do, you can just press enter if you have exhausted a complete line. If you have exhausted a complete line and you do not have available space for other elements in that line, in that case you can press enter and continue typing other elements of the tuple. So here I have pressed enter after 4. So give a comma because there should be a comma between any two values. Then 5, 6, 7. End it with a closing small bracket. Press enter, T, and this is your tuple. Let's create another tuple here. T is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, comma. After comma press enter, type 5, 6, 7, closing bracket, press enter, and this is your tuple. Don't forget to include a comma either before pressing enter or after pressing enter. Don't forget to include a comma here. After tuple display construct, there is something called tuple method. Tuple method. Tuple method is also used to create tuple object. If I write T is equal to tuple and pass any sequence in that tuple, then you end up creating a tuple having different elements or elements taken from this sequence. Let's use this method practically to create a list. Write T is equal to tuple and write any sequence here. Suppose that I am writing a string hello. So by writing like this, you will end up creating a tuple with all the elements taken from the string hello. This is my tuple. Now suppose that I have a list L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. If I write T is equal to tuple and you pass the list as argument of the function tuple, you will end up creating a tuple from the elements of the list. Now suppose that you want to take an input from keyboard and using those inputs you want to create a tuple. Then how to do it? Let's try to do it. T is equal to tuple input enter elements of a tuple. Press enter and your Python interpreter is waiting for an input given by you. You can give an input as A, E, I, O, U, press enter, and here your tuple is created by using all the elements you have provided through input. Now let's take various integers as input to a tuple. Let's try it. T is equal to tuple input enter elements of tuple. Press enter the elements, write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, type T. Here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but as a string. All the elements of the string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are taken as various elements of the tuple, and here in this case the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 do not have any arithmetic meaning. They are just strings of one character each. Now how to take integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? This is the question. Let's try something else. Copy, paste it here and use here int. So first I am going to convert whatever is taken from the keyboard into integer, and then that integer will be converted to tuple. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. This is saying that integer object is not iterable. Okay, that means if this one is an integer, that cannot be converted to a tuple. So how we can take inputs from the keyboard so that all the inputs are treated as various elements of the tuple? How we can do it? Again, if you remember the eval method which we have studied in the list section, we are going to use the eval method to create a tuple here. For a revision, let me again state that what is a eval method. Eval method is a method in which if you provided a data like a string, suppose that you are providing here a data inside the string and that data is an integer, then whatever is provided inside the two double quotes will be converted into the corresponding type. Here, since inside two double quotes we have a whole number, therefore the eval method will return a whole number. The eval method will return an integer. Similarly, if I write here eval and inside the two double quotes I write 2.3, whatever is returned by the eval method, let me write it here in x is equal to something, then type x, it is 2.3. Check the type of x, it is float. Now again suppose that you write x is equal to eval and as a string you write a complete tuple 1, 2, 3. This is a complete tuple enclosed between opening and closing double quotes. So what eval method is going to do here is, eval method will take out this tuple, convert it into tuple and store the reference of the newly created tuple to the variable x. Okay, press enter, type x and you have a tuple. Check the type of x now. The type of x is tuple. We are going to use same technique in order to take various elements of tuple from keyboard. Let's try it. So instead of converting input to integer and followed by a tuple, you can just take input and that's it. That input should be given to eval method. So whatever the input is taken by the input function will be given to the eval method for further evaluation. Press enter, and from the keyboard you type whole tuple including opening and closing small brackets. You have to type whole tuple because a whole tuple will be converted to a tuple. Okay, that's why here you need to type whole tuple so that the eval method can convert your typed string into tuple. So right here 2, 3, 4, 5, press enter, and this is your t. If you type here type t, this is the tuple. The third way to create a tuple by using input is using the eval method. So hopefully now you understood different ways of creating tuples. Now let's see how we can access various elements of tuple. Let's see it. Accessing various elements of tuple. Accessing various elements of tuple is same as accessing various elements of list and accessing various elements of a string. So if I create a tuple like t is equal to a, e, I, o, u, if you create a tuple like this, it is going to create a tuple in memory having 5 elements: a, e, I, o, u. This is the tuple object in the memory. Now you can access various elements of the tuple by using two types of indexing. The one indexing is from left to right, starting with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called forward indexing. Forward indexing. And other type of indexing is from right to left, starting with -1. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. This indexing is from right to left, starting with -1. This is called backward indexing. Backward indexing. The forward indexing is from left to right. The backward indexing is from right to left. The forward indexing starts from 0, goes up to 4, and the backward indexing starts from -1, goes up to 5. And using this indexing, we can access various elements of the tuple. That means if I write here T3, it means I am accessing the character O. If I write here T -2, it means that again I am accessing the character O, because all the elements in a tuple are having two types of index. Okay, one is from left to right starting with 0, other one is from right to left starting with -1. Okay, forward indexing and backward indexing. So you can say that T3 is same as T -2. The len method is also applicable for a tuple. If I write len T, that means I want to find length of the tuple T. The length of the tuple T is 5 here. Therefore, len T returns 5. So if I say you to display last element of the tuple, okay, if I say you to display last element of the tuple, then there are two ways to display last element of the tuple. The first way is type T, and in between opening and closing a square bracket, write len T -1. Len T means 5, -1, that means 4. So ultimately this is T4. T4 is U. This is the element U. And the other way to access the last element is just write T -1. Does not matter how big a tuple is. Does not matter if you know the length of the tuple or not. You can just write T -1, or you can just write T len T -1 to access the last element of any tuple. Let's try this practically. create a tuple t is equal to a, e, I, o, u as its various elements. Then type here t0 in order to access the first element of the tuple. And if you type t minus 5, that is also going to give the same element. Okay, because as you can see here, 0 and minus 5 are pointing to the same element, that is A. If you want to find the last element of the tuple, you can write t len t minus 1. This is the last element of the tuple, that is u. And in the same way, you can write t minus 1. And this also gives the last element of the tuple. If I write here t3, I will get O, but at the same time, if I write t minus 2, again I will get O. So as you can see here, we have two types of index to access all the elements of a tuple. The only difference between a tuple and a list is tuples are mutable. If you try to change a value of a tuple, like if you write here t1 is equal to, change it to something else, t1 is equal to capital A, it will throw an error. It says that tuple object does not support item assignment. But the same thing is allowed with list. If I just create a list using same elements, all the properties will be same. Only difference is that now you can change a single element of a list. I can write like this, t1 is equal to A, and this will not throw any error. Type L, and here you got a changed list. But the same updation operation is not allowed in a tuple. That's why tuples are called immutable, because you cannot change a single element of a tuple. We know that a tuple can have any data type as its members. So even if tuples are immutable, but tuples can have a mutable element. This is allowed in tuples. For example, if I write here t is equal to, I am going to create a tuple 1, comma, and other element of this tuple is a list, like 2, 3, 4 is a list. After that, the other element of the tuple, say this is high. So we have three elements inside a tuple. The element at the index number 1 of the tuple is a list. Okay, if you type t, then t is a tuple. But if you type t1, then t1 is a list. And we know that the lists are mutable. You cannot write t1 is equal to something else. You cannot write like this. This will throw an error. What is t1 right now? t1 is a list having three elements, 2, 3, and 4. You can change the second element of t1, that is allowed, because t1 itself is a list whose element can be changed. Okay, t1 cannot be changed, but the data where t1 is actually pointing can be changed. What I want to say here is, let's look at it using pictures. T is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, high. This is a tuple. Okay, that means your t will be like this. This is your t, the first element, the second element, and the third element. The first element is pointing somewhere else at object 1. The second element is pointing somewhere else at an object which is a list 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the third object is pointing to a string high. Now let's further elaborate this picture. This one is pointing to a list object. Okay, this one is pointing to a list object. But ultimately what is happening here, this one is pointing to 2, this one is pointing to 3, and this one is pointing to 4. This is what actually happening here. Okay, so you can say that T0 is 1, T1 is this list, T2 is high. We cannot change what is getting pointed by this tuple object. We cannot change it. This tuple object will keep on pointing to the same list object. We cannot change this tuple object to point somewhere else. We can make this list data type to point somewhere else in the memory. This is allowed. Changing this one to somewhere else is not allowed, but changing this one to somewhere else is allowed because this is a list. This one is a list whose elements can be made to point somewhere else. So this is allowed. But making an element of tuple to point somewhere else is not allowed. This is what immutability of the list. So if I write here T2 is equal to something else, it will throw an error. If I write here T1 is equal to something else, it will throw an error. But if I write T1, okay, T1 means this list and pick an element. I want to pick this element. So T11 is equal to 5. This is perfectly valid because here we are not changing the tuple. We are changing a list pointed by the tuple. Okay. So if I write like T11 is equal to 5, this is perfectly valid because we are not changing an element of the tuple. We are changing the object. We are changing an element of the object which is pointed by the tuple. Okay, so if I write T11 is equal to 5 and type T here, as you can see, I have changed a content of the list pointed by an element of the tuple. Next topic we are going to learn is traversing a tuple using for loop. The concept is similar as we have learned with string and with list. So let's see the same concept with tuple. So let's create a tuple T is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Press enter. Use a for loop for I in T, print T. So what we are doing here is, I have a tuple whose elements are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the first iteration of for loop, the first element of T got assigned to I, and here actually I have to print I, not T. Okay, so first element of T got assigned to I and we have printed 1. Then in the next iteration, the second element of T got assigned to I, that means 2 got assigned to I and we have printed 2. Similarly, we have printed 3, 4 and 5. When all the elements in the tuple T are exhausted, then the loop comes to an end. Run module, and here we are. In the same way, we can traverse through a tuple by using while loop. I can create a variable I is equal to 0. Then you write while I is less than length of tuple print Ti, and then type I is equal to I plus 1. So what happening here is that initially I is equal to 0, then we are checking if length of T, length of the tuple, that is 5, is greater than 0 or not. That means if 0 is less than 5 or not. If yes, then print T0 because current value of I is 0. Then increase the value of I to 1. After increasing the value of I to 1, again check if 1 is less than length of tuple or not. Yes, 1 is less than length of tuple. Then here you print t1 and then increase the value of I by 2. Then you check if 2 is less than length of tuple or not. Yes, it is. Then print t2 and increase the value of I by 3. Similarly, when you are at the index number 4, then you check if 4 is less than 5 or not. Print t4, that is 5, and increase the value of I to 5. Now 5 is not less than 5. Therefore, this loop comes to an end. Run module, and here we have the same output. But this code is not efficient because we are executing a method multiple number of times. You should always reduce using a len method or any type of method in a loop. So I can take this len method out by typing L is equal to len t. Now my len method is going to be called just once rather than multiple number of times, and I can use here simply a small l. So I'm not calling the len method again and again in a while loop. Now this code is more efficient than previous one. Run module, and here we are. So hopefully you got how we can traverse through a tuple by using for loop and by using while loop. See you in the next video where we will learn about various operations supported by tuple.